Hello everyone, this is Zanza, back with another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This time, we are starting off in court, defending Will Powers, so, let's get going. Court is now in session for the trial of Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, the defense is ready. Edgeworth, your opening statement. Show the court that at 2:30 on October 15th, the defendant, Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer at Studio One of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. See, very well, I would like you to move on to your testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness, a familiar-faced Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would please briefly describe this case to the court. Sir, I'll explain it with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security section, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio One. This is where the scene of the murder. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Wow, I'm good at talking right now. Now, on the day of the murder, on October 15th, there were only two people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammers, went to Studio One. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio One to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case. Anyone like to hear that again? Yeah, I'm good. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Or whatever you would call Japanese culture, I guess, samurai stuff, whatever. My question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? Aren't you a handsome fellow? Afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me... I love that sprite. Nothing will beat Red White's, like, semi-breakdown face, though. It seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. What? The objective refrain from rambling on will refrain from nah. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, yeah, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30, right? Interestingly to me, Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Because he's always right. So, she claims to have seen him, but we do have that picture, so I guess we'll present it on something where she talks about that. Murder happened at 2:30. Interesting. 2 p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You mean this Powers? Let me get this straight. Old Bag, or Miss Old Bag? You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you've been talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Seriously, how do they come up with stuff like that? Like, I'm not even sure. Of course, didn't your mama teach you any sense, honey? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? Yeah. Well, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that does not mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. Could have been someone else. Okay, that may win for Best Sprite. I know that I wasn't born yesterday. Plus about 80 years, then yeah, I'd give that. No one in this court is accusing you of being born yesterday. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. You have no proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. She has proof? To ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good evidence, pal. Didn't even give it a second look. Wow. Old Wooden Bag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. That's funny. It's your proof. Wow, another testimony already. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So, she's claiming that something broke. So let's, I want to know what that is. Never saw anything Um, I saw Powers trip and fall. She... Wait. She said that she was running errands. How was she there? I'll make it better for him, of course. You help make it better. I kissed it where it hurt. Let's go over that part. Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up the backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Howard's sprained ankle. You may continue your testimony. She said she was running errands. Oops, no. Okay, let's press her on this. She's present at the run-through. Well, let's see. There was Powers, Steel Samurai, Hammer, her. Observing, just observing. She was off moving backdrops around and stuff, so she didn't see the run-through then. Saw Powers trip and fall. Okay, let's press her on this. Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. Strikes me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record. Okay. I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor? There's one more thing that bothers me, which is, where's the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? It was clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers, so I don't think so. But, I mean, we kind of have to object. That's kind of the answer to everything. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photos can we see Mr. Will Powers. Okay. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Why was this not part of the thing before? The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., right? True? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Mr. Will Powers. No one else went there. What if they came from Studio 2, though? That could always be it. If they had, I would have seen them.